What's up, guys? I was almost late. Took a shower. My hair's still wet. I feel like I don't look my best. Maybe if I make this face, I'll look good. And probably not. Hey, how are you? I hope you're doing good. I hope, however, the mystery of your own self is treating you. I hope it's good. I hope you're being kind to the one closest to you, your mistress. But yeah, thank you for, group sex has been ruled out. I've been thinking about that too. So anyway, hey, let's cut the crap, guys. We're not here to have a good time. We are here to suffer and dwell on how big the problems are around the world. And if you don't have huge problems, like, we're here to dwell on how terrible they might get for you. Because if there's one thing we need less of in this world, it's optimism. Optimism is crap. It's tearing this nation apart. And the world. And the moon. No, I'm absolutely not serious about that. But one thing I do want to do, like, really the purpose of this live chat is twofold. Connect with you is one, and I want to get to some Q&A and see you beautiful, lovely weirdos and what y'all have to say. And the other fold of this, I'm calling this the Positivity Power Hour, where we're here to slay the fear, just slit the fear's throat, and I would dare say become more the master of our own lives. So, in other words, instead of having a couple shots of alcohol, I want to see if you and I can have a few shots of positivity. Not delusional positivity, but actual 100% grade A proof positivity, because this is a freaking weird time we live in. Like, newsflash. Do you guys know there's the coronavirus and, like, the world's in quarantine now? So, needless to say, there's enough negative stuff, fear-mongering, and honestly enough legitimate stuff that can scare us, that I want to see if you and I can just rise above that and get ourselves a little bit powerful, positive. Powerful positivity, and I have a mild southern accent when I say that. So with that said, by the way, I'm jumping on it so I can see your comments on my computer. This is my phone. Technology, right? There's two. The device is GP. Yeah, I'm doing well. I have a computer and a phone. My phone I bought 4 years ago. Computer's like 3 years old. So I'm doing well. But yeah, right now, feel free to comment in where you're coming from, like where you're at in the world. Or if you're on psychedelics, like what world you're in. Like, let us know that. I love that. So we're going to get to it. And as always, if you're new to the live chat community, there's also a super chat option. And what that means is if you care to send your friend JP a little donation, you're going to see a super chat button near the chat box. It's a $sign, and you can send a little donation if you want. No pressure. Like, you take care of you first. Yet if you do send in a super chat donation, that's going to come to the top of my screen. It flags it, and I'm going to give you a shout out and see what you have to say for sure, and see what some others of y'all have to say. So, by the way, I see a lot of y'all coming in. Hawaii, Anaheim, Germany, Clarksville, Tennessee, Megan, awesome, Chris, in Melbourne, Australia. I won't say Melbourne, Australia. My second trip to Melbourne, I learned not to call it Melbourne. Melbourne, Australia, in the house. Colombia, wow, I'm in jail, USA, right on, so is everybody else. Massachusetts, Chicago, I love it. Georgia, the country of Georgia, right on. Chicago, Ireland, more North Carolina, Gotham City, Bruce Wayne in the house, Sacramento, upstate New York, Canada, Ireland again, Hungary, Dallas, Iowa, Yes, yes. And I did just wash my hair. So, by the way, I'm going to give you my first punch of positivity right in the face, freaking power hour in a second. But first, I see Bob Gregory. Thank you for the super chat, Bob. I'm super glad you're here. And thank you so much for your support, Bob. I appreciate you being here. Brother man, Ukraine in the house. ATX. Oh, I'm in ATX as well. Right on. Adrian Banks, thank you for the super chat. Sydney, Australia, look at you. One of my absolute all-time favorite places on earth. I've spent a lot of time in Sydney over the years. Manly as well, which is across the harbor from Sydney. Jaffrey H, right on. Thank you for the super chat. UK, wow. Jamie, thank you. Jamie for the super chat. Stay healthy, JP and Amber. It's good advice. We're doing our best, I promise you. So I want to hit you with my first positivity power hour punch in the face. And it is this. I was going to read a quote off my phone, but this is my phone. So I'm going to give you a quote from the top of my head. Some of you guys have heard of Viktor Frankl. Get to his quote in a second, but it's like the best thing I've ever heard. Viktor Frankl was a guy, he was, unfortunately he was in the Nazi concentration camps during the Holocaust. He was a Jewish man. His whole family was in the camps, and man, his whole family was killed by the Nazis. And this guy, you can just imagine, he lived in not only the most horrendous circumstances, he survived those circumstances, yet those circumstances took his family from him, his wife, his kids. Like, I couldn't imagine anything worse. Not to get too negative, but I couldn't. And when he came out of it, he wrote a book about his experiences and specifically his mindset, and it's called Man's Search for Meaning. And I know a lot of people out there, a lot of y'all have read Man's Search for Meaning. Yet, the power of his book, I think, is really summed up in this beautiful quote. You will never be robbed of the last of the human freedoms, which is to choose your attitude under any circumstances. His circumstances, I think, were the worst I could imagine, probably 1,000 times worse than what the average bear is going through during this crisis. Yet he chose a positive attitude. He chose to see good in the people that were harming him. He chose to have a spirit of, I've got this crappy sawdust bread and I'm going to give it to someone who needs it more than me in this camp. So that for me is sobering, because I get invested in my problems, like, oh, things are hard right now. And yeah, that's true. But also, look at this man, Viktor Frankl, and his sentiment that the great human freedom to choose our attitude under any circumstances. A freaking powerful reminder. So what is your attitude you're choosing? I asked you to comment in a second ago where you're coming from. Please comment in your dominant mindset right now. I'll say that, but if you could summarize it in one sentence, what is it? Whether you're right now pessimist or optimist, what is it? And I'll share with you my mindset as you comment yours in. But mine is, I'm not here to look for catastrophes. I'm here to look for opportunities and double down on what matters most to me. Comment yours in. I want to acknowledge a couple of these super chats. Adrian Banks from Sydney, Australia. I think I might have already read that. I think I did. Whoops. Yeah, let me know. Let me know your mindset. I see a couple. I have no problems. Yeah, of course. You're the rat. Very interesting. My mindset is self-alchemy. See another comment. Teal Swan t-shirt. Yes, she sent me this. I love it. Just trying to survive. Awesome. That's honest. I love that. Enjoying my mandatory vacation to every possibility. I love that. Gratitude. Yes. Love the attitude of gratitude. So grateful my hubby is still working. What a awesome. My mindset is yard work. I feel you on that, Joey. Thank you for the compliment. You look like a sociopath. Thank you. Thank you. Moving along. From there, another little positivity punch I want to throw at you. I just recorded this for a podcast, yet I want to share a little thread of it for you now. On a couple previous podcast episodes, I've had on a friend, and he's a spiritual teacher named Paul Selig, really awesome dude. And Paul Selig has this beautiful quote that says, "You can't be a victim and a master at the same time." Yet, if you think about that, like you can't be a victim and a master at the same time. You know, we're living in a time where the path of least resistance is to make ourselves into a victim. We look at what we're losing. I know, honestly, some of us are losing jobs, money, some losing health, certainly losing social interaction the way we want it to be. So there's a lot we could focus on that we're losing, and choosing to keep our eyesight locked on that, I believe, keeps us in the state of being a victim. And it's a very weak state to be a victim. Now, I'm not saying you're a weak person, or I'm a weak person when I'm looking at things as a victim. I'm saying it's a weak state. Yet, if we look at that and realize, like, if I'm a victim at times, I can also choose to be a master at times. And to me, the master is the person that says, I'm not going to let my circumstances dictate how I feel and how I see the world. The news can tell me things are crap. There's so much that I could focus on that I'm losing, yet I'm not going to make that my life inside. I'm not going to make my feelings a slave to that. I'm not going to make my mindset a slave to that. I'm going to be the master. And in spite of my circumstances, I'm going to choose my attitude. Hashtag Viktor Frankl. And the master is one who might look for opportunities. It's like, cool, life is not the way I want it right now. It's probably not the way anybody wants it right now. Yet there's a lot beyond our control. So the master says, cool, how do I want to be during these circumstances that are out of my control? What can I take bold action on? What can I control? And for starters, we can control our attitude. We can control on doubling down on what matters most to us. You know, I know for a lot of people, like connection to family, it's prime opportunity to treat the ones we love the most with more reverence, more kindness, more love. We can be playful. Cool, we're locked in our houses. How much more innovative can we get with our play and entertaining ourselves? So I think that's what the master says. And I want to share a freaking mind-boggling quick story in a second. First, I want to acknowledge another super chat coming in from New Rook. I've been stuck in doubt for a little while now, in a good way. Absolutely no more absolutism for me. Thank you for that super chat. I love that. So here's an interesting story where someone went from being a victim to an absolute master in their life, which, by the way, is there anything more potent, positive, and powerful than going from a self-induced victim, not saying like, you were hurt or abused by someone else, not that kind of victim, but a self-induced victim, to going to a master by shifting one fucking attitude. Is there anything more powerful? I don't know, but here's the story. Sunday night, I was talking to a friend, and he was telling me about a friend of his. I don't know him, but the friend of his owns a manufacturing facility in New York. They manufacture crossbows, like hunting crossbows. And New York is very strict lockdown. I know a lot of places are strict, but I guess New York is super strict. So the government shut down the manufacturing facility. They said it's a non-essential business. Employees can't come in. You got to shut down. Now this business was doing $2 million a month in revenue. Ooh, not a small business. Now you got to think, when you're running a business of that size, you've got probably a bunch of employees, you've got a building, you've got a lot of overhead, you got a lot of expenses and employees to take care of. And it's just, if you can't operate your business, you can't make money. So it's just a matter of time before you got to lay people off. Then you got to shut the doors. The business goes out of business. So they were shut down for 2 days. You can just imagine what the business owner's feeling was like. Oh crap, this is horrible. I'm going to lose my business. I had to lay off all my employees. And then 2 days into it, the owner called his head of manufacturing at the facility, called him up on the phone and said, what else can we make? They analyzed the equipment they had, the materials, and his head of manufacturing said, we can make hazmat suits. The owner said, let's do it. So hazmat suits, that's something like a big demand right now. Protect people on the front lines from germs, infection, and the hazmat suits are incredibly understocked right now. Nobody was prepared for it, for the coronavirus. So they start making it, and within a couple weeks, I mean, we're now at that point, they're now doing $2 million a day in business. They used to do $2 million a month, shut down, that's horrible, victim mentality, Then he rose to the master mentality. What else can we make? They're making hazmat suits. They hire all their employees back. The government says, you can run the business because this is deemed an essential business because you're making hazmat suits that protect people, doctors, paramedics. Awesome. So they hired all their people back. So now they're making better impact, making it a product that's serving the world like super awesome in the time we live in. And then they increase the actual revenue that they earn by 30-fold. They were doing $2 million a month. Now they're doing $2 million a day. That's the difference between being a victim and being a master. Again, my friend Paul Selig says, you can't be both. You're either the victim or you're the master. So marrying that with Viktor Frankl's wisdom, like we realize it is only ourself that chooses the attitude that determines I'm the victim or the master right now. And I want to ask you one thing, and please comment this in. What's one thing you're doing or you can do to make yourself the master of your life? The master of these circumstances. I'm not talking about like, a manufacturing facility, I'll make $2 million a day. No, like that's just like a business example. But what is it? Like, is it be extra kind to your spouse? Is it offer to do something for the neighbor if they can't go out? Is it to get someone groceries? Is it to do your kids' homework for them so they can get a better grade? Like, no matter how small or big, what is one thing you can do to be in the master energy right now? I'll share with you something I've done. I ain't perfect, but I'll share with you something I've done to get into some master energy here in a moment. But first, I want to take a look at this. And by the way, after I share my little thing, I'm going to start taking questions. So if you've got questions for me, especially like the time we live in, if you've got a specific challenge, or if you just have amusing, weird questions, feel free to comment those in because I want to get to the Q&A as well. But I see a super chat coming in from Bimby Town, which is a fun name. You ever been stuck in the loop or seen the future? No. It's a very boring answer. It's an intriguing question. Boring answer. But thank you, Pippi. Emily Stowe, or Stowe for people who are literate. Emily says, "You and Stephen McNeil make me feel good about myself." Awesome. I'm honored, Emily, that my guess is you make yourself feel good and you blame me and Stephen some of the time. So, but anyways, beautiful to be a part of that with you. So, getting to your questions in just a second. And by the way, I see a comment or two every so often about audio issues. So if there are audio issues on your end, then apologize. Like, I literally don't know what to do about that. And I know some of y'all are having clean audio, so hopefully you're one of those people. But something I've done, I might have shared this in the super chat last week, I'll be brief. One of the ways my life is affected by the crisis we're living in is, a large percentage of my income is earned by doing live comedy shows and comedy clubs and theaters. And as you can imagine, those are all canceled. I have no idea actually when I'll be able to do those again, but for a solid handful of months minimum, all the comedy shows are canceled. So, dude, I felt some stress about that. I was feeling like, I feel like an electric eel is tickling my diaphragm on the inside. It's like my butthole puckered up a little bit. That's a medical term. And I was there for I don't know, a couple hours. And then Paul Selig's words, victim or master, hit me. I'm like, victim or master? Cool. Like, I wouldn't choose for my comedy shows to be canceled and my income really compromised, which I know a lot of y'all can relate to. Income compromise like that'll wake you up. So I decided, like, I'm not here to look for catastrophes. There's enough of that around. I'm here to look for opportunities. Things are changing, got it. So I'm not looking for the exact same opportunities. I'm here to look for new opportunities. And the idea of do a live stream comedy show, and I'll give people a night out while they're stuck in their own home. Like, I want to do that. Like, and that'd be fun. And so I implemented that. And it's something I'd never done, never even thought of before. And I'll tell you, like, we've done 2 so far. Every Friday night I'm committed to doing a live comedy show until the quarantine's over. I'm streaming them from my living room to yours, my way of giving you a night out while you're stuck in your home. And I'll tell you, I get as much joy doing those as I do being in a comedy club performing. They're very different shows. They're a new creation, and they're so joyful. And honestly, my joy might even be higher than performing in comedy clubs because I integrate my wife, and a friend of ours is staying with us, so integrate them, and it's like this is so much fun, and it's more than just me. I love it. So that's one small thing from my life that I'm doing to rise above the temptation to just choose to be a victim. But it's something I'm doing to do my best to choose to be a master right now. So, but what are you doing to be a master right now? That one thing. I want to check in the old comments and take some questions. You know what I mean? By the way, like, yes, I washed my hair. Yes, I did wash my hair. That's why my hair is wet. Wouldn't it be funny? It's like, no, it's sweat. I haven't washed it for like 5 weeks. Hashtag quarantine. Oh, I love that. Man, Taylor Barrett, making music and art. Oh, I love that. That is not, victims don't make music and art. The pessimists don't make music and art. The freaking potent, positive freaking masters do. I love that. I love art. Oh. And a powerful question. Did you just wash your hair, or does your hair need to be washed. Oh yeah, I just watched it. Simply drinking less. I love that. That's a move of a master. I'm writing essays for school. Super duper Sabrina. I love that. Geo Bear. Oh, amazing. Thank you for the super chat donation, Geo Bear. That's beautiful. Appreciate you. Music, art, and drugs all day. Awesome. Hopefully more music and art than drugs. And hopefully they're not the bad drugs. I don't know exactly what the good drugs are, but probably a matter of opinion. Got my computer. Play my singing bowls, drums, yoga, spending time with my kids. Yes! Yes! Love that. I freaking love that. Awesome. I do a few different kinds of art. Maleficent _ supernova on Instagram. Thanks, JP. Lots of walking my dog. I love it. Greetings from Finland. Greetings back to you in Finland. From America. America. Spiritual mastery says learning how to spiritually ascend. Yes. I need to learn how to spiritually ascend. Awesome. So I want to hit some Q&A. If you have some A for me, no. If you have some Q for me, then I'm going to have some A for you. And I'm going to get that in a second. I want to pull something up. Yeah. How's this to watch a video of me freaking typing on my computer that you can't even see? Is this intriguing? Kev M says, what psychedelics have you tried? Ken, what makes you think I've tried psychedelics? No, I'll give you an honest answer. I haven't tried many psychedelics, or better said, I don't use them often. In fact, I'm very rarely, but 14 years ago, I tried DMT 3 times. I've used, then 13 years ago, LSD 3 times. And then in the recent year, very low dose psilocybin twice. And then 3 ayahuasca experiences over the past year and a half. Yeah. That's my rap sheet. Don't send me to jail. Maybe you should send me to jail. I love that. Well, next question. What do you think of the idea of a new prophet? I think we're all prophets. Sorry, but I do. What's your favorite part of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now? The inside of the book. I love it. The cover's cool, but I love the inside. It's a freaking powerful book. Love your honesty. Thank you for the love. TikTok 420. Yeah, Chatterbox, why 3 to get an average? I don't know, but like when I just was saying that out loud, 3 DMT experiences, 3 LSD, and 3 ayahuasca experiences. Like, wow. Why 3, JP? I don't know, but freaking, I don't know. My astrology, maybe. I'd like to not claim self-responsibility. I'm also going to put in the chat section the link to, if you want to join me for this Friday night's live stream comedy show. It's an all-new show. But anyway, I'm going to put the link to join me in the chat box here in 2 seconds, which is incredibly hard for me to do while trying to answer questions. Friday night, still alive. I'm going to, all caps on alive. Just make it profound. Oh, shoot, JP. Idiot. How's that for powerful self-talk? I'm an idiot. Yeah, idiot. Anyway, can I pin that? Nope, I can remove that comment, but I don't think I can pin it because I'm not smart enough. Oh, also in the comment or the description of this live video is also the link if you want to join me for Friday Night Still Alive, which, believe it or not, is Friday. This Friday. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. We go live. And by the way, just a note on that, the replay of this show, it's available until the end of the weekend. So you've got basically 2.5 days to watch it if you care to join me. And the tickets for that, like, there is a small nominal fee. It's just $9.95, and that just goes towards, helping support me, food on the table, food in the dog's dishes, vet bills, shampoo, that kind of thing during this time where I'm not able to get out doing in-person comedy shows. But all new show every single week. So again, if you want to join me, it'd be an absolute joy to have you. We've had great turnouts the first, both weekends we've done them. So the link to join me is in the description of this video. Rebecca Halsworth asks, JP, do you grow a garden? No, Rebecca. I don't. I long for the day when I have enough time to grow a garden. My wife and I kill all of our houseplants. We've never had a houseplant that we didn't eventually kill. Not like murderous, like get the gun out, bam, I'm gonna kill that fucking houseplant. But no, just like overwatering, underwatering. We're like diseased people. Just unfortunately we kill houseplants. So I don't feel that optimistic about a garden. Someday I think it'd be a joy, but right now I know, like, I'm so busy all the time. Everything in the garden would die faster than the house plants. What's your astrological sign? Dude, I can barely read. What's your astrological sign? Thank you, Ishika12. My astrological sign is Aries. Yeah. Artem asks, JP, how often are you going to go live? It's a good question. So these Q&A chats with a little bit of a message, I'm going to do my best to do these every week, every Tuesday. And then the big show, the comedy show, the Friday Night Still Alive, every freaking Friday. I'm dedicated every Friday until the quarantine's done. So looks like that'll be a decent chunk of time. But it's my dedication to be connected with you and give you something at the end of the week to laugh about and hopefully laugh away your stress. Yeah. Hey, JP, would you like a free mustache ride? Wow, Ryan, that's generous. Yes. Second thought. What if you meant... No, Ryan, I don't think I want a free mustache ride. But free is a valuable price. My sister from a different Mr. Karen Salt super chats in. What is your favorite part of that shirt? The inside, Karen. Just like the favorite part of myself is the inside. By the way, from a higher perspective, I think we're living in a time of mandatory introspection. And if you try to resist the introspection and escape it, we might be kind of creating living hell for ourselves. But if we surrender to it and allow the introspection to happen rather than trying to escape ourselves during this time, then maybe welcome to heaven on earth, in spite of things happening that you also don't like. Maybe. Lola J, and I saw some others. Are you David Spade? Yes. Next question. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I saw someone, and I apologize, I missed your name. I caught the question. Now I can't find the question. There's a lot of wonderful comments and questions. But have I ever considered a career in the WWE? Not my adult life, but when I was a kid, I was a huge fan of the WWE. Then it was called WWF. I definitely dreamt of being a professional wrestler. And I'm not into it anymore. MH08, do you have enough toilet paper? For now, went to a gas station earlier today and get gas. And I said, I'm going to go in and see if they have toilet paper, because any store I've been in lately has zero toilet paper, and we're about to have dirty hands is what I'm saying. They had toilet paper, and I grabbed 4 rolls. I'm like, they have more than 4 rolls, but I want to leave some for other people. I don't want to be a hoarder. I want to be considerate. We're all in this together, and if someone else's butt is poopy, then oneness consciousness, that kind of means my butt's poopy. I don't want that. So I want them to have some toilet paper, so I don't have to have a poopy butt via that expression of the one divine grace. But this gas station was funny. They had their toilet paper wrapped in saran wrap. So you could tell they opened the big packages. They're like, we're going to sell these one at a time so we can charge more money for them. That's kind of a good idea. They weren't price gouging. I think it was $1.29 per roll of toilet paper, but I think it's just more than you'd get if you're buying 6 or 12 at once. So hashtag gas station entrepreneur, I guess. Next question. Get to a few more questions. By the way, if you were with me from the beginning of this, you know, got to a couple potent positive considerations through, you know, choosing your attitude, hashtag Viktor Frankl, and Paul Selig's notion of you're either the victim or the master. I just, like, I appreciate you being with me here for, you know, what was a little dose of real potent positivity, at least from my perspective, where, you know, this chat, it really is taking a step away from the comedy. We're just connecting at a different level. So anyway, so thank you for, like, letting us vibe at a different frequency for this. By the way, my latest comedy video I released, if you haven't seen it and want to see it, go see it as soon as we're done here. It's called What Celebrities Are Like During Quarantine. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. Pimpy Town asks, thank you for the super chat, Pimpy. What do you think about the dangers of psychedelics and meditation? Have you ever encountered demons or known anyone that's never made it back to us? Yeah, I do. I don't take caution in meditation. I take extreme caution with psychedelics. Like, you know, someone a few minutes ago asked me about my psychedelic experiences, and I've had a few. It's not something I'm doing often. Personally, really value being in the stream of consciousness of my very clear mind. Yet I have had, you know, a couple handfuls of psychedelic experiences over the last decade and a half. And as I'm someone who's used psychedelics and even had like 3 of those experiences, now I'd say 2 of my experiences were profound. I would call them life-changing. I still don't advocate, like you won't hear me saying like psychedelics are good, you should use them. Absolutely not. Psychedelics are a tool, and I don't know if the tool of psychedelics will be harmful to you or helpful to you. I don't know. So, and I love this question, Bimpy, because it does raise, they can be extremely harmful to people. I had a positivity power hour. Let's get negative for a second. But it's a real experience that hopefully will keep some folks in a much more positive experience, because I think if you can learn from the shitty mistakes of other people, you don't have to make the same mistakes. So hopefully we'll have a positive outcome. But I want to share with you, I had a friend, you know, I was pretty close to him at the time, and this is probably 8 years ago, and he started getting into psychedelics and got into them, you know, pretty heavily, to the point where I was like, oh, you're using these all the time. And he was using them with a shaman who was a horse shit shaman, absolutely not a real shaman training the lineages in the jungle, absolutely not. Just some freaking predatory white guy that had a connection to these substances, and he liked to charge people money to administer the substances. Here's your DMT, your LSD, your ayahuasca. Then let's call me a shaman while we're at it. So it was a terrible guide and irresponsible uses of substances. And I think my friend's psychology, he was in it for the wrong reasons. And yeah, he got severe brain damage. And to this day, he's not the same. Like, he was making good money, great relationship, and really making a happy life, and depression, suicidal, had to stop working. And the only the only variable was he literally got brain damage from misuse of psychedelics. And Bimpy, to your question, I can't speak to demons. I've heard stories, and even people who I think have some legit perceptions that I don't talk about those, but I don't have firsthand experiences with them yet. I think at a spiritual level, when one is opening themselves up with certain psychedelics, you just might be pretty vulnerable to other vibrations. Some would call some of those vibrations demons. So yeah, I'm gonna say this, hammer my point home. People ask me all the time, like, do you go to Birdie Man, JP? No, absolutely not. The idea of 80,000 people coming together, many of them using psychedelics, many of them using psychedelics irresponsibly, many of them using psychedelics irresponsibly for 7 days in a row, is a consciousness disaster. According to me, not according to a lot of people, according to me, it's just something that strikes me as dangerous and drug-like behavior, not consciousness exploration behavior. So we know anything can be used like a drug, whether it's gambling, workaholism, sex, alcohol, drugs. Anything can be used like a drug. By the way, including fucking psychedelic drugs can be used like a drug. And anything can be addictive. And anything that can potentially have a positive effect can guarantee you potentially have a negative effect. So yeah, I've made various videos over the years, comedy videos. I have a deeper message of whistleblowing and shining the light of awareness on irresponsible use of psychedelics in the spiritual communities done under the guise of consciousness. Now, I fully support psychedelics need to be studied, MDMA therapy, psilocybin therapy. Like, there's no question. These things, when used appropriately with an appropriate guide, you can get healing and PTSD healing and trauma healing that nothing else can give you. So, like, I'm a fan of these substances. I ain't a fan of how these substances are used a lot of the time. So, I'm not here to validate anybody's shitty behavior to make you like me more. Yet I am here to be a whistleblower and shine the light of awareness on the shadow side of this behavior that's very rampant in the conscious community. It's not popular for me to do, yet it's part of my mission for sure. Like, I'm called to do it, so I'm gonna fucking do it. Rant is over! Thanks for the question. That was a 45-minute long answer. You're welcome. Christopher Myers, thank you, brother. Enjoying this chat. We love you. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Love you too, brother. Yeah. Let's get to a couple more. Man, so many beautiful comments. I wish I could acknowledge each and every one of you, but there's so many. So I'm going to do my best. Hit a couple more before we sign off, and I invite you to do something better with your time. Family Low, what's your favorite dessert? Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia ice cream. No question about it. Potentially, not just my favorite, but the best dessert ever for anybody throughout history. Yet to be scientifically validated, yet it's anecdotal advice in this point. What? Althea, you are being sarcastic, right? Like, sometimes I'm sarcastic and sincere within the same sentence, so I don't even know how to answer that. I might have been sarcastic when I said I don't know how to answer that, but I also don't know how to answer that. I love the question. Karen, I almost called you Carrot. Thank you for the rant on the use and misuse of psychedelics. You're welcome, Karen. I would resent myself if I didn't speak my mind. I would dare say, that's a universal truth, I dare say anybody resents themselves if you don't speak your truth. Your truth is not the absolute truth, but your truth is your truth, and you have a voice for a reason because it's meant to speak your truth. It's not meant to parrot what you think people want to hear from you, but when you do parrot what you think you want other people to hear, what you think other people want to hear from you, you use the power of your always resent yourself for it. And that pain of self-resentment helps get your attention to realize, oh, you're treating this powerful thing like it's the underside of your toilet seat. So let's promote this. Let's realize our voice is incredibly powerful, and I dare say sacred, and our voice is meant to voice our truth. If we don't do that, we resent ourselves. If we do use our voice to voice our truth, we feel fulfilled. Fucking amen! AKA, you're welcome, Karen. Moving on to the last couple. Irene, thank you for being on here. I don't understand your language. Thank you for being on here. I'm an ignorant American. I barely even speak English. Let's see. Alpha for Thora. Hard thing to pronounce. Why are you so addicting to watch? It reminds me of the scene from Brokeback Mountain when I think it was Heath Ledger said to Jake Gyllenhaal, whatever, I can't quit you. It's funny. I don't know why I'm so addicting. Nathaniel, thank you for being on. Paul White, thank you for being on. Gina, thank you for being on. You guys are awesome. I'm going to ask you to go do something more fun with your day. By the way, which might be, if you haven't watched my newest comedy video, it dropped earlier today. It's called What Celebrities Are Like in Quarantine. You can check that out on my channel. Personally, it really tickled me on the inside. So you can check that out if you want. And if you want to join me for this Friday night's live comedy show from my living room to yours, that link to join me is in the description of this video. So if you want to reserve your spot, I'd love to have you. Absolute joy. Like, come be my family for the night. I'm gonna entertain you and give you some laughs so you can decompress, laugh away your stress. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'll see some of y'all this Friday night. And for the rest of you, thank you for joining me for this live chat. I really appreciate being able to connect with you. With that said, think positively, choose your attitude, consider being the master, not the victim. See you later, you awakened weirdos. How do I turn this off? Probably like that.